So it's coming right behind me, coming towards me. And so he passes me and I see him and I try to laugh this kind of flirty, like kind of, laugh. And it comes out like more like a maniacal villain laugh, like ha 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 ha. And I'm like, oh my God, how fucking cringe is that? So that happened. One time after that, I think I went to the store and I needed to get something. And that time he sees me, he ignores me. Go to his area and I need something. And so I try to ask somebody else, but people not wanting to step on each other's toes, they go to him because he's the only person for that department. So he comes out, he sees me, he gets pissed off, and he practically throws the thing at me. I'm like, okay, I honestly, by this time, it's like, I'm sort of fed up, I'm sort of sad, and, just kind of like, you know what, I'm glad that I got out of here because I really need time to heal from this. I need to kind of see what the fuck I actually want. So, cut to over 2 years. Many times when I'm doing my shadow work at night, especially when I'm gardening, I don't recommend it if you have substance abuse. But when I'm doing that, I'm meditating and kind of going in, asking me the questions that I need to ask myself to deconstruct a lot of the things that I'm going through. Many a times reflecting back on him. How I'm overly attached to people, how my abandonment issues are affecting me, how I miss him, and on and on and on. And over the next 2 years till present, um, I'm just kind of going through all of those things that I need to, like RuPaul says, if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love anybody else? So I'm focusing on that. I'm loving myself and identifying who I am, what I want, what habits I have that are counterproductive and that I need to be working on and deconstructing one by one, going almost weekly to my therapist, talking to them, going monthly to my psychiatrist to get my medication. From time to time, being able to attend things like Emotional Anonymous, starting to get into the habit of more productive self care things like journaling when I'm getting frustrated, trying to kind of work with the whole approach I'm doing with gardening in terms of the self care, because sometimes I do fall into the situation where I'm like just doing it for the fuck's sake rather than actually doing it in a proactive manner of doing the actual shadow work, the work on myself. So I'm doing all that throughout these past 2 years. Um, and now I'm at a point where I'm starting to share my story with everybody else after kind of going back and forth with God, that it's been made very clear to me in one way or another that I need to start sharing my story. And so that's why I'm doing that with you, that in hopes that you find some gold nuggets in my story so that maybe you can see how it can apply to you. Because, again, although not the same, we got through, we've gone, both of us and other people in the collective, through these type of situationships where it really fucks with our heads, you know, and when it starts affecting other areas of our life. So my recommendation as somebody who already went through it is, if they are not giving you a yes or no, kind of go along the lines of the consent argument. If it's not a definitive yes, it's a no. So I'm sorry to say this, kiddo, but it's a no. Just accept a no, move on, treat it like the axiom. Let a butterfly go. If they come back, it's meant to be. If not, it wasn't. And it's gonna hurt like a bitch for a long time. Um, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's gonna hurt like a bitch. There'll probably be a lot of times you'll remind yourself of him. For me, it happened that I constantly, and still to date, his nickname is associated with an animal. I keep seeing his namesake everywhere. I went to the flea market yesterday and I saw no less than five of this animal. So, and you'll probably catch yourself, if you have his contact information that you'll want to write him. If you really want to move on, it's gonna be like a kick to the pants, you know where. erase the phone number, erase his photos, because they will only hurt you. And that's my experience. Block his accounts and try to forget them. Any and all accounts that he may have, try to forget them. Try to just kind of put your story to the side, because unless this resolves himself from his proactive approach, you're only going to be hurting yourself. It's like going to be like holding onto a knife from the blade side if you go something like I did. And I can tell you, for me, it was very painful. Now I can think about him without breaking down in tears, but many times I was crying. I was falling apart because I missed him. And I do miss, you know, the happy moments, but I don't think I'm willing to go through the bad moments again. That if we were to meet again, which I really don't have any hope of, um, that it would have to be a new relationship, like we just met for the first time. And if he is in a current relationship and he has been thinking of me, I wouldn't even consider going out with him until he had been at least a year, like the 12 steps recommend, at least the 12 months of being single. Why? Because he'll be most likely carrying over any fallout from the previous relationship. So the last thing you want to do is put yourself in a rebound situation where he still hasn't resolved his conflict between you and whoever he's with, if he is with somebody. Um, and that being said, even if he's not with somebody, that he's at least 1 year proactively going to therapy or going to 12 Steps Emotions Anonymous or any other 12 step, and especially getting a sponsor, so that he has enough time to deconstruct a lot of his toxic behavior. Um, because if you jump back into that relationship and say tomorrow you call each other boyfriends, both of you will be carrying that baggage. So it's actually better to have that alone time, but actively working on yourself and him working on himself, to dismantle a lot of those counterproductive behaviors and attitudes and just ways of thinking. Okay, so I really hope that helps. Hang in there. I know it's easier to said than to do, but I went through it. I already went through it, and I know how it feels. That there's some days when you just kind of want to give up hope, and that everything sucks, and you just miss the fuck out of them, and that nothing you see or do is gives you any joy. I've been through those days. So, spend some quality time with your friends. If you have close friends, spend some time with them. Find some activities out there. Like, there's Meetup that has different kinds of activities for LGBT people and other interests. Um, 12 steps, like Emotions Anonymous. If there's in-person meetings, actually go to them. Um, Go to therapy if you can. But just kind of get yourself out of your headspace. If you can help somebody with something that you do have experience with that is not related to situationships, that also helps too. But only if you're ready, because it does take some energy, right? So you want to talk to either a therapist or sponsor within the 12 steps to see where you are at, and to go from there and make a plan how to move ahead. Okay? And just like anybody can hate you for any reason, I love you for no reason, because you are wonderful, you are great, and you will get through this. I promise. Just do the work, okay?